Hi, I'm Mommy.
I'm Connor. I'm a train driver. I'm Nat. I'm your sister.
This is Jocelyn.
Say hi.
Say hi, I'm Daddy. Say hi.
Hi.
I am adopted, so it has always been a way of growing a family.
We kind of put it on hold for a while. So I would say in the last 4 or 5 years, it really picked up more momentum and more of us like talking like this is what we really want to do to add to our family.
The month of January, we just spent the whole month just praying and really trying to decide, is this what we're feeling, or is this what God is calling our family to? At the end of the month, we both sat down and looked at each other and came to the same conclusion that yes, this is what we're supposed to do.
Whole International, they're the ones that we went through the whole time, so it was just setting up and applying through them and getting some paperwork in. They had to do some home studies. That was the big thing, where they come out and they go through your whole house and ask you a lot of questions, get all your background, and then you're running through that.
We kept thinking, we would really like to adopt from Korea, but for whatever reason, that was not an option for Pennsylvania. And then we actually got a phone call saying that Korea was an option, which we just feel was a complete God moment, because we had been feeling like we wanted to adopt from Korea all along. They gave us the number figures for each country, and Korea, of course, was the most expensive fee. And we just looked at each other and we're like, no, this is where we've been kind of feeling our hearts led all along.
We stepped out in faith and didn't really worry about it after that. We just knew God was going to provide. And so once we started the process, we did lots and lots of fundraisers. We applied for grants. We just did everything we could think of to help raise the money for that. And people would just come out of nowhere and just be like, hey, we want to help with this project, we want to help with this. And within 15 months of starting, we had all of our funds.
We had a thermometer that we had drawn on a piece of paper and would color it in step by step by step as we were trying to get closer to our goal. And I remember at one point I just looked at Dwight and I said, I don't know how this is going to happen, there's no way. And he wrote on the paper and he said, we will have all of our money by this date. And God totally beat that by 6 months.
You're a good, good father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are. And I'm loved by you.
Once you're submitted with your home study, you also have to fill out paperwork called your dossier. They had told us to expect about 8 months to a year, but from when it was sent over, it was about 5 months. So we were kind of shocked at how quickly the timing went. We thought we had till about Christmas before we would get that phone call that we had been matched.
When we got the call to set up our first trip, first of all, we were just excited beyond belief. Like, we waited a very long time for this, and to finally get that call, first of all, was just pure joy and dance party celebration. Like, this is awesome. And then after that wore off, it was like, oh man, like, we have 2 weeks to plan a trip to Korea. And then it wasn't until like we were on the plane flying over and we could actually sit back and think like, we're going over to see our son for the first time. We did give him an American name, but kept his last name in Korea, so it's Colton Daniel Cho Gaiman. We wanted to include the kids from the beginning. I mean, they're obviously a part of our family. You know, we're adopting, the boys gonna be a part of our family. So this was always something that we discussed with our kids from the very beginning, letting them know. It was fun telling them along the way moments, like when we did get accepted or when we got the match, like we would sit them down and be like, guys, guess what? And all share in that excitement together as a family.
So Daddy got an email today, and it says that Mommy and Daddy have to be in Korea in 4 weeks to meet Colton.
They were so excited. Madeline got teary right away. We officially only had 3 appointments that we had to do with Holt, so the rest of the time was wide open. One of the days was to meet Colton, a second day was to get to have a second play date with him, and then the third date that we had scheduled was to go to court. When he finally walked in the door, it was like, oh, he's real, and just, it was so hard to try and keep our emotions in check because it's like, our baby is here. This is our son, the one that we've been praying for, the one that we've been hoping for, like ours.
When he came in, he didn't want to really play with us. He's kind of held on to his foster mom, which was expected.
I went over to him right away and, you know, tried to interact with him, and it was something new people, different language, so he didn't really want a lot to do with us.
We found food. Food was a bonding point instantly, and Matchbox cars.
And he actually let us feed him, and at the end he gave us a popo, or in Korean, a kiss.
It was like a relief, like that part was there, and we met him and it went well. We tried to kind of hold our emotions in check while we were with him, because we're like, we don't want to sit here and be in awe that he's right here in front of us. We wanted to play with him. And then after he left, when we were going back to the hotel, it was just a crazy moment of like, what just happened? Like, we just met our son that we've been waiting for a long time, and it was just a really cool moment. We got to meet him again for one more hour, and that second one even went better. He went right to us the whole time, was just phenomenal. Gave me a huge hug at the end of it, wanted me to hold him. Then we had to give him back and watch him walk away again when we flew home. So that was really, really hard to leave him there. You got to meet him, you got to see him. He was real, not just a picture, and you connected, and you had to fly and leave him there. We were always just kept checking in, waiting to hear from the court. If it was approved, it came, and I screenshotted Holt calling us, and they said everything's been approved. We call Alice, and I'm like, we're going. Like, it was just so exciting, and I think it wasn't a whole lot of time to think or process.
It was a relief that we were finally done, and he was going to be in our arms forever. When it actually happened, it just was perfect. It went so much better than we could have ever hoped or even imagined. We would just sit there and kind of look at each other and look at him like, this is real, he's here, he's ours, like, we're done, like, we get to take him home with us.
Now the whole transition process comes into mind, and how is this gonna go? How's he gonna like us? How is a 14-hour plane ride with a 20-month-old gonna go that doesn't know us or understand us?
Lamar Dougherty, and I am the father of Allison Gaiman. We drove to the airport. We knew the door that he would be coming through, the doorway, and we were there about an hour early. It was a very emotional time when we got there, because we suddenly realized that our new grandchild was going to come through that door.
Things just kind of paused in time. You know, our kids came running. Grandparents were there. We had some friends there videoing and taking pictures of it for us.
It was so hard. I was doing my best to not cry and keep it in check, and as we got closer and closer, my heart was just beating so wildly, and I feel like that was the climax of our entire journey. When we were finally reunited with all of our children all together, all at once. You know, it wasn't us holding his picture anymore. It wasn't our family with thinking about him being there with us, but we were all together at once.
We know we still have a journey ahead of us with him as he gets older, and processing and sharing his story and all that sort of stuff, so we know that's coming. But right now it's just complete joy and excitement.
My favorite parts of the process were how I was learning that I was not a patient person as much as I thought I was, and learning complete and utter dependence on God, and then seeing him come through time and time again. People often think that we are a blessing to Colton, but we don't see it that way. We see it as that he is completely blessing us.
While I'm waiting.